Imagine a quiet, intimate room bathed in the warm, golden light of a late afternoon, where time seems to slow down, capturing a moment of quiet concentration and calm. The space is simple and unadorned, a humble setting that speaks to the everyday life of rural folk, with rough-hewn wooden furniture and walls that bear the marks of age and use. The atmosphere is thick with the scent of tobacco and the earthy smell of worn leather, grounding you in this rustic environment. At the heart of the scene, there are two men, perhaps farmers or laborers, seated across a sturdy wooden table. Their postures are relaxed yet focused, embodying a sense of quiet determination. The table between them is a solid presence, its surface scarred and rough, hinting at years of use. The men are engaged in a game of cards, their full attention on the cards in their hands, as if the world outside this moment has ceased to exist. The man on the left is somewhat older, with a weathered face that tells the story of a life spent working under the sun. His skin, tanned and creased, contrasts with the simple, rough fabric of his clothes, which are a blend of muted earth tones, browns and grays that blend into the environment around him. His hat, a worn, wide-brimmed piece of felt, sits low on his head, casting a shadow over his eyes, which are narrowed in concentration. His hands, strong and calloused, hold the cards with a certain familiarity, as if he has played this game many times before, each move calculated and deliberate. Across from him sits a younger man, perhaps his son or a friend, dressed similarly in the modest clothes of a working man. His features are softer, less worn by time, but his focus is just as intense. His hat is perched slightly askew, revealing a lock of hair that has escaped, adding a touch of casualness to his otherwise serious demeanor. His hands, though not as rough as his companions, are steady as he considers his next move, the cards fanned out before him. The game itself is a silent conversation, an exchange of glances and gestures that speaks volumes. There is a sense of camaraderie between them, a shared understanding that goes beyond words. The silence in the room is thick, but not uncomfortable. It is the silence of concentration, of minds at work, of two souls deeply engaged in a ritual that is both a game and a test of wits. The light in the room is soft, casting gentle shadows that play across the men's faces and the table. It is a light that seems to caress everything it touches, giving the scene a sense of warmth and timelessness. The colors in the room are muted, dominated by the browns of the wooden furniture, the earthy tones of the men's clothing, and the grayish blue of the walls. Yet, within this subdued palette, there is a richness, a depth that suggests the weight of the moment, the gravity of the game being played. The emotion in the room is subtle but palpable. There is no tension, no sense of urgency, but rather a quiet intensity that draws you in, making you a part of this silent duel. You can almost hear the soft rustle of the cards, the creak of the wooden chairs as the men shift slightly in their seats, the distant sounds of the countryside outside, perhaps the faint chirping of birds or the rustling of leaves in the breeze. This painting, while simple in its subject matter, is profound in its depiction of human connection and the quiet moments that define our lives. It speaks of tradition, of the passing of time, and of the unspoken bonds that tie us together. It is a snapshot of a world that is both ordinary and extraordinary, captured with a sensitivity and depth that allows you to feel the weight of the moment, the quiet dignity of the men, and the timelessness of their simple game.